All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monkey Man and the Fat Boy. I am Fat Boy.
And this is the Monkey Man.
How's it going, bro? How you been?
Little hungover today.
Yeah. What'd you do last night?
Oh, went to the Mallards game. Checked it out right behind the goaltenders right there.
Yeah, I saw that. They won in overtime.
Overtime, man. It was a good one.
Was it a shootout or did they win 3-on-3?
No, shootout.
Yeah.
Shootout.
It looks like they're struggling a little bit this year.
They are. I can honestly say
They look a little rough.
they were looking rough. How can you slip on the ice? That's what I'm saying. The big man, the big enforcer was getting beat up all night. I'm like, man, how's this happen?
Yeah, they had a better team last year is what I hear.
Yeah, oh yeah. But we're spoiled. We want Toporowski back.
Yeah.
McFarland.
Gibby. Yeah. I was on Facebook the other day, and I saw a friend of ours come up who we probably haven't seen in a long time. Or you probably haven't seen in a long time. Fathead George.
Fathead.
Now, the reason I bring him up is because I don't know if you remember this.
Biggest head of heads in all of heads history.
Well, he used to use his head as a helmet when we were playing football. And he used to hate when I walked out of bounds with the football because he couldn't hit me with his fat head. Now, that's not the reason I brought it up, but I don't know if you remember this. One winter, he went sliding down here. It was not Hero Street Hill. It was 4th Street Hill at the center. And he ended up underneath a truck that was running. Do you remember that?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was at the church center.
At the center, yeah.
That was before they put the fence up and everything for the daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And he lived to tell about it.
Yeah, that was like 30 years ago.
The truck drove off with him underneath it.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. That's hilarious. This big head probably stopped him.
So, who'd you hang out with last night? What'd you do last night?
I was with the bud Carlos. Hit up O'Keefe's bar. Had way too much to drink there. Just like I had way too much to drink at the game.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and I saw you on Facebook 4 hours after I woke up. 4 hours prior to when I woke up, and I'm like, how the fuck are we gonna do this show?
Get home at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wake up at 9 o'clock saying, "What the hell happened last night?" I feel like garbage.
Right. I saw Janet.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah. She was. Oh my God, dude.
She looked phenomenal.
Oh my God.
And she just had a baby too, right?
She is sexy, bro. She is something else. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, bro. It was funny because. Yeah, no, I told Josh that I wanted to see them I wanted to see her 3 months prior, and we were gonna get our tickets and we didn't get them, and I was like, man, I want to see her. It didn't happen. And then Tuesday night I was like, man, she's coming tomorrow, man. That concert's tomorrow, and my cousin reached out to me and was like, hey, tickets are $20. I'm like, oh, we're fucking going, dude. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, but I got to see her, dude. She's bad.
Yeah.
She's bad.
But did she sing?
She did.
Was she on a track?
It was a bit of both. It was a bit of both, which I don't blame her. I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to dance and sing.
Yeah, and that's what she does the most. She puts on that. That show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, she had her moment where she sat on a bar stool and she sang, to the crowd, and that was cool.
I mean, everybody knows she can sing.
Cool. Yeah. But I mean, to hear her live, dude, hear her voice live, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, she's something. She's sexy.
Yeah, I showed Noah some video, and he's like, she's like Michael. I'm like, yeah, she is, man. She is.
All 5'3" of her, man. She's like 5'5" or something like that.
So, how did the college visits go?
Oh, me and Maya's visit to the University of Iowa was on Tuesday of this past week. Dug it.
Yeah.
It's Iowa, baby.
What did she
God's
say?
Country, man.
Where's she landing?
Well, Monday, the day before, we went to Illinois State down there in Bloomington. Normal.
Right.
And she liked that. She dug it too.
Home of the Cyclones?
No, Redbirds.
Redbirds. Yeah, that's right.
Not the Red Devils, but the Redbirds.
Fuck the Red Devils.
Yeah, fuck them. Go Flyers.
And what'd she think?
You know what? On Monday we were supposed to go to the University of Illinois to do a visit down there.
Right.
The other day she called me up and she was like, "Dan, I really don't want to go."
Right.
I mean, I think she got kind of intimidated at the University of Iowa.
Right.
And
what was it about the college that intimidated her?
Looking at the metrics, looking at the numbers, and when we're going through some of the paperwork and stuff for the programs that she might want to go through to be what she wants to be in life.
Right.
And I told her not to pay attention to those. Those are numbers.
Yeah.
You know, don't let them scare you. This is that. You know, everybody knows. Yeah, you're supposed to be perfect at ACT, SAT scores if you want to be a freaking doctor. You know, this and that.
Right.
I need those numbers up there.
Yeah.
I go, but that's what they boast on and stuff like that.
Right.
But I told her, I was like, let's get there first.
Yeah.
Enjoy the atmosphere. If you feel it, you feel it.
Right.
Don't let that scare you. I was like, because you can go in as undeclared.
Yeah.
You know, and they're gonna look at you and say, okay, she's got numbers to be in college.
Right.
You know, to attend here, just to attend.
Right.
You know, and do her general education, you know, classes first and this and that, and then go from there. And that's what I told her. I was like, you got dumb athletes that have like a 17
right
for an ACT score.
Right.
But they're there.
Right.
They're there. But they're there for the sole reason to play sports or whatnot. But they
Right.
put them in underwater basket weaving classes and, you know,
Yeah.
their hardest class might be communications 101.
Right.
But, you know,
Right. Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's what I told her. I was like, they got athletes that come in here and other students that are barely scraping that
Yeah.
you're going to say, okay, you know, we're going to give you the chance, we're going to give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
I was like, you're going to get thrown in the 53%, 57% of the student body that comes in at 5,000 students every freshman class.
Yeah.
I was like, but the first semester, boom, half that's going to wash out.
Right.
They're either going to be because they're too far away from mama's chichi and they want to be closer to home.
Yeah.
And this is not them.
Right.
Or academia scares them, you know, and
Yeah.
academics itself, you know, classes and stuff like that scares them. So
Yeah.
then they leave,
Yeah.
you know, by the end of the semester or after the first year.
Mm-hmm.
They know that.
Mm-hmm.
And they count on that because the university, that's free money for them.
Right.
That they've already, they've been here for a year. That's $40,000 that you owe us, or $38,000, $36,000, whatever.
Right.
So that they count on that.
So that's, I mean, and looking at those numbers, what do you say about the reality of student loan debt? I mean, because I know that that's something you don't have to worry about because you're a military man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, you still got to pay one way or the other. You know, these, you know, I told my daughter, because that's one of the things she was worried about.
Right.
Dad, we're going to get the money.
Well, I mean, but that's smart. That's smart on her part because usually
think
students don't worry about that until after.
Seeing some students do.
Yeah.
You know, some people get they think that, you know, you're Mexican and, you know, this and that, you're going to go to school for free because you're Mexican, you know, blah, 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 this and that. And, you know, and you know, minority, this and that. If you want help,
Yeah.
it's there. It's out there.
Right.
Different forms are out there of ways of getting that. And I tell my daughter, I was like, when we're done with these college visits, you're going to come over to my house every weekend,
Right.
at least for 2 hours, and you're going to start filling out applications for scholarship money.
Yeah.
I was like, because that's where you're going to get money from. I was
Right.
like, you know, it's out there. It's free. I mean, I think last week I read a article that there was like $140 million or something like that was still available for FAFSA.
Right.
That was unclaimed.
Right.
It was there.
Yeah.
It was unclaimed
Yeah.
because people thought that, no, I'm not going
That it wasn't there. Right.
You
Right.
know,
So they didn't even bother.
and they don't bother.
Right.
You know, and same with scholarships. You know, you got all these people that have scholarships for anything and everything.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you're short and fat. Hey, we're gonna give you $1,000 scholarship and give you a picture. You know, and we'll see if you're short and fat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you get scholarships that are like that, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah,
You know, you got a freckle. Take a picture of your favorite freckle for
Right.
$10,000, and I've seen it, and I'm like, man.
Right. So I mean, with that, in the same respects to that, I don't know if you ever saw the movie, The Big Short, where they go into detail as to what happened when the housing market crashed and stuff.
Oh,
like
yes, great movie.
Yeah, it is a very good movie.
Great
now,
movie.
in respects to that,
shows you how crooked this people with power,
right,
people with money,
and we talked about that the last show. And in a nutshell, at the end of that movie, they show you that they went right back, to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in respects to that, you look at the economy now, and I've, when I was working for the Dispatch, because as I predicted last show, as you know, I'm on the outs now, and I was making good money. You know what I'm saying? But then insurance, and taxes. You know what I'm saying? I have a new house. You know what I mean? And I worked with people who were worried about their student loans. You know what I mean? Because the interest rate is rising as they are going into forbearance. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So for Maya to have that, that idea and the thought process prior to it's kind of you're on a good end of things, because she's thinking about it in the forefront.
And I told her, which every parent should tell their kids, because everybody's got the opportunity to go to school.
Right.
It's not for that. Sometimes it's not for them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I was like, when you go to school and you make that commitment to go to college, you're already separating yourself from everybody else. So you're actually that 1% that's going to college.
Right.
I was like, because you might have a student body. I think her student body is 475, something like that. Out of those 475, 100 might only go to college and stay in college.
Right.
So when you take that into consideration all over the country and stuff like that, that's a small number.
Yeah, it is.
It when you think about it. And I told her, I was like, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if you want to go to college, you're going to go to college. Plain and simple. I will do what I got to do to help you with those bills and this and that. Every parent should,
Yeah.
Some don't, but it can be done.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that, I mean, do what you gotta do.
So just a little bit
of you gotta give your kids that opportunity to
college
do better.
Anxiety.
Like our parents told us,
right?
You gotta do better than what I've done.
Yeah.
You gotta make more money than I did.
Right.
That's what you want.
Right.
And I tell the kids, I was like, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, in the same regards, I mean, I worry because, like I said, I look at Noah and I'm like, man, what I'm saying? He's excelling in school, and there's no going backwards as a parent. You know that. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife was just telling me today, like, oh my God, look at his pant size. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's gonna keep growing. You know what I mean? So when I think about stuff and the way things are changing, I'm like, man, you got to think about stuff like that.
Yeah. And like I said, and it depends. You got people, just like that want to become a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go to a 4-year college, and right off the bat, that's going to be well over $250,000.
Oh, easy.
By the time you go through the first 4 years.
Right.
Well, then you got to go to graduate school, to go for another 2 years or something like that.
You need more money.
To do that. And when you do 2 years of that,
right.
well, that's adding like another $150,000. So by the time you
that's what I'm saying. It's crazy, bro.
You're $400,000.
You do that math, right? And then hypothetically, she comes out of college, right? She meets a man, she gets married, she buys a house. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the math doesn't add up.
It doesn't. It never does. It never does. I mean, and they do that on purpose because, like I said, you can go from day one freshman to day last graduating.
Right.
You might be magna cum laude or sigma cum laude or just cum laude. And you're ready to face the world.
Hello.
You're ready to face the world.
Yeah.
And the world is going to swallow you up.
It already
has.
Yeah. You're already in its mouth.
You might be a lawyer, but then all of a sudden you're like, okay, trying to get into a firm.
Not just a firm, but a firm that you're comfortable in. Yeah.
Just to get into a firm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're selling yourself, to the devil again.
Yeah.
And they might say, okay, well, check this out. We're going to prorate you this much here, but then per percent of whatever cases that you have or what you do, this and that, then we divvy that all up.
Yeah.
So I tell you, yeah, you might be making $150,000 your first year, and you're like, damn, ooh, shit, here comes that first bill.
Yeah.
And you're like, but again, you know, you got a boyfriend, you're moving in a house together, or a girlfriend, or both, I don't know, whatever, you know. And by the time you know it, I'm a lawyer.
Right.
You know, let's get a $250,000 house.
Right.
You know, let's do that. You know, and you're like,
and it's funny because you're just following the schematic that is life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you those people mentally put it in their head, well, this is gonna be like a 30-year loan.
Right.
You know, we're gonna make this like a house payment. Yeah. You know, but like I said, you know, at what is it? What's the loan right now? 14%.
Oh, I couldn't tell
for school.
I couldn't tell.
And I think they just changed that, and they signed a bill on that this past year.
Right.
White House did.
Right.
That you can only charge this much across the board, you know, for whatever schools and school loans.
Yeah.
But it's high.
I know there was I can't remember what it was, a couple months back. It was a certain percentage of them that got wiped out. Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember. It was a certain percentage, but you had to fall under a certain category or something.
You know, and it's crazy. I mean, it really is. You know, I get it. I do. You know, you got school professors that are teaching you to be a lawyer.
Right.
They're going to go off to make $100,000 and up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these teachers are demanding that, hey, I want $100,000 a year too, because I'm teaching them to be that.
Right.
Or I already have that, you know. They're trying to pay off their bills still, you know.
It's in regards to that. You know, my sister's a teacher. And they are underpaid. They are underappreciated.
You know, and that right there is a different topic.
Altogether. Yeah.
You know, and because I wanted to become a teacher when I was going to go back to school and mold young minds, you know, and do that. And I always fought with the fact of you do it because you love it, and it doesn't matter what you get paid
without complaining.
You know,
right?
That's what you wanted to do.
True.
And, you know, and it's more than that.
Well, it's the same boat that I'm in. You know what I mean?
But then again, you know, you got teachers out there that are saying, "Wait a minute, man, these kids are leaving here and they're going to go make $100,000, you know."
Right.
I'm just asking for.
It's like that.
Rate,
that's me. When in reality, that's it
it
really isn't. It's the actual.
Well, you know, it's like, you know, I was getting in an argument with one of my teacher friends. I was like, man, you make $60-some thousand a year. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not really a lot because I spend more money at school and, you know, trying to help my class, buy supplies, and this is not my kids. And it's like, I understand that.
Without it being a per diem.
I was like, I understand that.
Yeah.
I was like, however, you get 3 months vacation.
True. That is true.
I was like, in those 3 months, I've known teachers to go out and get bartending jobs.
Not only that, but
get bartending jobs or get any other job, that, to bring in extra money during that time or do whatever.
And back when we were in school, we had the 2-week break. Now Noah's getting 3 2-week breaks. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't
school year.
Yeah, that's not counting Christmas.
Break.
Yeah. That's not counting Christmas. So, you know, they do get a lot of time off.
I'm like, you know, and plus they still get vacation time, sick days, you know. So
it's a political. I mean, not a political. It's a debate, a different debate altogether, like you said.
Like I said, you know, but again, you know, it depending on how you go. You should already know for a fact going into becoming a teacher, you're not gonna make the big bucks.
Right.
You might get thrown in a school that might pay real good. Mm-hmm. You might get thrown into a school that pays you nothing.
Yeah, pays you shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a roll of the dice, really.
And then you become shit teachers. Or a teacher that sleeps with the students. That's what I'm talking about.
Speaking of which, let's talk a little bit about UT. Soul Bowl.
We're gonna win and fight for East Moline.
Soul Bowl. How did that happen?
The funds were there.
The
funds have always been there.
The boosters sold that many candy bars.
Man, 50-50 tickets, bro.
50-50 tickets.
No, actually, that.
So that has nothing to do with taxpayer money. It's all boosters.
There's some taxpayer money into it.
Right.
But again.
Because when I look at Rock Island, you know what I'm saying? When I look at their stadium, you know what I'm saying? And I look at Wharton Fieldhouse, you know what I mean? I mean, God, man, we don't even have the reputation to say we've ever had any winning teams.
Yes and no. I mean, the days back in the day when we did have championship teams and stuff like that.
The 60s?
Well,
70s?
Early or late 80s. You know, when UT went all the way to state as a football team.
Did they win?
No, we got beaten the third round or something like that.
I think Juan was in school when that happened.
Yeah, that was like when Tony Trulson and those guys were playing. And I know it was crazy, but back then, kids played outdoor sports.
Right.
And there was an abundance of kids.
Oh,
we had
yeah.
2 high schools.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
We had 2 buildings, a North Campus and a South Campus.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you think about it. Back then, you had literally 4,000 students in one building and 4,000 students in the other building.
Yeah, it was a big school.
We were the only, I think we were one of 3 schools in the nation at that time that had dual campuses. And this was a high school.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, so you had to think about numbers-wise.
Yeah.
And again, back then, kids weren't really playing video games and shit staying inside.
Right.
We were outside playing,
Right.
sports.
Yeah.
So, of course, there was no travel back then either. There was no
Right.
travel of baseball. Travel. I mean, there was, but very rare to get on a team like
Right.
that. Back then, it was only like, hey, Major League, Babe Ruth, County Mac, and Legion Ball.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't have these other teams like the Hitmen and stuff like that.
Yeah. The traveling teams.
But you actually had kids playing sports.
Right.
So these teams that UT used to have 60 people on the team, man. You know? It'd be like,
it was harder to make it.
Like, U20 can't dress.
Not to mention the fact that there's a lot of politics.
U20 can't dress because we don't have that many helmets and shirts, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But now you barely get 30 people on a football team.
But, I mean...
But for the stadium to happen and whatnot, it goes...
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful stadium, but
I think UT Soul Bowl is probably one of the most beautiful high school stadiums.
Oh, for sure.
It's got so much character. Right. It's on top of a hill.
Right.
You know, looking over a bluff kind of,
And it literally is a bowl.
Huge.
I mean, it literally is.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's...
And people don't know or don't remember or never even thought about it. That was 1920s AWF project or something like that. American Workers, blah, 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 which was a program to keep people working.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Same with Rock Island Stadium.
The entire stadium?
The entire stadium
really
was part of the...
So when we were growing up then that was a revamp then. The first revamp when they put in the rock and
Yes. Uh-huh.
Cuz I thought that was when it was built.
No.
Wow.
No. If you look back, it was I'm trying to think what working programs it was back there during the war.
Right.
Or during the Great Depression.
So it's to get people back on their feet.
Yes, yeah. Just hey, check this out. We gotta get people to work because people are being so depressed that their suicide rate was the highest in the world.
Skyrocketing.
You know, of that. So they were like, man, we need some programs here to just stimulate. You know, and Rock Island Stadium was one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I believe UT's was also, and I believe Wharton Fieldhouse was one as well. I'd have to check on that. But that was all done from a government program.
Really?
The first time it got then when we got revamped, it's been revamped like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So this is okay.
And this is like the 4th time.
Right.
And the money, there was some state money there, I believe. But booster money was there also. And man, it's...
Now the reason I bring this up,
it's a lot cheaper now than it has been. Let's put it that way. And, state money came down because the IHSA, Illinois High School Association,
Sports Association,
did their study and said, hey, you know what? Having a turf field is actually supposed to be safer than hard ground. You know, and apparently they all decided that. You know, and they kind of encouraged more high schools to go to a turf field. So like Geneseo just did theirs too this year. Right. And that's a beautiful. It looks nice too.
Right.
And man, it looks beautiful, man.
It does. It does look good. It does look good.
It's sharp, dude.
it's crazy because I jumped to that topic because of what you said about the teachers and stuff like that. But like, it's the gatekeeping to me that makes me wonder, like, what is going on in that high school with the teachers, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like it only takes about 2 years before we find out another teacher is doing something else. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like the history there is just mind boggling. But aside from that, where'd you get that costume?
The one I'm wearing right now?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a Irving Rodriguez limited edition. You just got to Google head and then boom, right there, man. It's between this or Donald Trump mask, man.
Yeah, well, I'll sign it before you leave if you want, bro.
Oh, this was already signed, man.
All right, so touching on some of the topics we touched on last week, we had some people comment on our pages. I don't want to give out any names, or we'll change the name to protect the innocent. But Aaron, Aaron and Fredo, I don't understand what's going on with Rauner and all this, us being a junk state.
You know what?
And I'm going to get to my point here in a second, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on Rauner. I voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I voted for him was hopefully to start a slide
Mm-hmm.
and shake up Illinois politics.
Okay.
Because eventually, if for the last 30 years, if you ever noticed these new government.
Oh no, yeah, it's been corrupt. It's been corrupt,
and
it goes without saying. You go to
and it's corrupt no matter what.
Right, it is.
But we need to get Madigan and his daughter out of there, and get them out of there. The Democratic political regime, is out of hand.
So, do you consider yourself a liberal?
You know what? I don't know.
You know.
I mean, I take a lot of pride in making sure that I do the right vote for myself,
exactly,
for my benefits.
That sounds liberal.
Yeah. And when it comes down to whether it's a Republican
or a Democrat, that's the way you're supposed to vote. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Green Party.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But again, everybody should vote for what they want. What's going to benefit them,
right?
Not as a whole,
right,
because you have no control over that,
right?
And some of these politicians think that way too, and they think
it's funny because the Green Party had a chance there during the presidential election until old boy, couldn't explain what Aleppo was. He didn't know what Aleppo was, where Aleppo was.
But that's like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders would have won.
Yeah.
Had
the Dems screwed him.
Well,
man.
When Hillary, if you were to go back and watch when it first started, and Bernie Sanders said, "Hey, I'm running for president."
Yeah.
Hillary was on her platform, right?
Yeah.
Well, then she noticed that Bernie Sanders was right there on her heel. So she flipped the script and started the same platform as Bernie did.
Right.
And swallowed up some of his.
And the thing about that was he kind of handed her the torch when he said, "I don't want to talk about your emails." It's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's one thing I love about Bernie Sanders. I'm not going to throw mud at you.
I'm going to fight a fair fight.
Yeah. I'm not going to throw mud at you. This is what I'm about. This is what I want.
Right.
People are like, oh, he wants to give free money away, this and that. The programs that were already there to begin with,
right,
was already being supported by the government and money being thrown into it. It was just going to be revamped and put in a way to where you see where the money's going. The transparency was going to be there. That's what he wanted to expose and show.
Yeah.
So whether
the only thing that I see wrong with Bernie's approach, because I love Bernie Sanders, you know what I'm saying, but it still all goes back to the fact that if you're gonna do all that, eventually you have to cut something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of governing.
And that's just it. Right now, Trump is doing the same thing.
Right.
I'm cutting this, I'm cutting that,
he's cutting everything. Yeah. Right.
But then he's putting money in places that he said that he wouldn't.
Right.
And this is that. I'm like, oh my God, man. But it is what it is. He's already there.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like I said, I didn't vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the things that he says, and I don't agree with him being president. But he is our president. You know what I'm saying? Granted, we're a government that's run by gatekeepers.
Yes.
So no president can come out. They can say whatever they want to say. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that.
Yeah, the president is a puppet.
Yeah.
He's a marionette.
Right.
You know, and when you look at all the strings on a marionette,
right,
it's lobbyists, 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 lobbyists,
yeah.
lobbyists.
Yeah.
It's big business, big pharma,
right,
and those things that pull the strings
yeah.
to the president.
Yeah.
You know, who got him to be there? You know,
Russia.
These people. Vladimir.
Yeah.
No, but when you look at it that way, it's true.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with the Illinois government.
Right.
Same with any other state government.
Now,
you got lobbyists out there that's throwing this money in front of them. Saying,
exactly, dude. Exactly. And that came into fruition when it came down to the delegate votes. I mean, the actual votes that counted. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the 3 million votes that Hillary Clinton got, because in all actuality, that shit don't matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It comes down to
the electoral votes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Those are the electoral votes are the ones that count. So,
and they need to get rid of it.
And that was they do.
They need to get rid of it.
That's what's wrong with the system. Well, the voting system.
Yeah. Well, see, but then again, times have changed.
Right.
You know, and unfortunately, I'm a constitutionist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the Constitution.
Right.
I believe that it's a guideline. It's a map.
Yeah.
But just like any map today, they change.
Yeah.
You know, this road goes this way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You talk like district lines and
you're taking out some of the curves and making it a straight line.
Right.
And making it.
Here's a little money. Let's change that district. Yeah.
I believe that we should get some of the greatest minds together from the United States and revamp it as a whole.
Right.
And make it plain and simple.
What it's supposed to be.
Loopholes.
What it's supposed to be.
You know, well, even back then, if you were rich and you were white,
right,
you benefited from the Constitution.
Yeah.
You always got to protect the rich. You got to protect where the money is.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was.
Right.
That's exactly what it still is today.
Yeah.
And it gets so misconstrued sometimes, you know, especially with depending on the Supreme Court.
Right.
You know, you get more Democrat, you know, or more Republican. They're going to go their way. They're going to swing their way. Make it a liberal one, and it gets just as messed up, you know, because everybody's got their own agenda, what they think, what it is, and their own interpretation. But I think that needs to be revamped and made plain and simple.
Now, when you say that, is a lot of that what's in it for me as far as politicians go?
Well, see, and that's just it. If you are not an elite, you're nothing.
Right. Now, when you look at Paul Ryan, right, because he was hurling all kinds of things at Trump when he was running, what happened?
He's got the best seat in government.
Right.
He's got one of the most powerful seats in government. I mean, he took over for what's his nuts. Oh, a guy that always had a red face tan.
Oh, it's Priebus.
No. The one he took over. I don't know. It'll come to me. But anyways, with Paul Ryan, he just sits there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's like the referee.
Right.
And it's crazy, dude.
It is crazy.
You know, but when he does say something, then everybody's like, oh shit, man, what's you know?
Yeah.
All right, change the game plan.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's happened.
Crazy.
It's been happening a lot lately.
And again, as part of the political strings,
right?
You know that hold on, you know,
to the puppet,
to the puppet, which is the president, you know,
right?
And yeah, man, it's. You know, Paul Ryan, you know, when they were like, we want you to run for president.
Right.
No, he didn't want no part of it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Republicans who are jumping ship.
Well, are they jumping ship or are they checking themselves?
They're checking themselves.
I think morally, something's going on.
Oh, there has to be.
I think the Republican
There's no way
Party,
you can be on that ship and not have any moral compass.
And that's another thing too. And Republican, Democrat, it's like
it doesn't matter.
Like black and white.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And what I hate is just with discontent is.
I mean, because we saw it.
We have a Republican president that months prior to him winning, he was a registered Democrat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I posted it on my
registered Democrat.
Yeah.
That gave money to the Clintons when he was running for
president.
And
it was no secret. This is known. This is, if you look it up, this is known. You know what I'm saying?
What Trump's quote Trump, if I was to ever run for president, I would run as a Republican because those people are dumb. You voted for him, people.
Yeah, and it's like, but even seeing him in pictures like with Pelosi and Schumer, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's tactical. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, like we've said in the past. The big thing is what's in it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I'm talking about Illinois being a junk state, we have to talk about recreational marijuana.
Sorry, real quick. John Boehner is who Paul Ryan took over.
Yeah. Boehner. Yeah, Boehner.
That dude was tough. He was a dick. But anyways, go ahead.
But there was a respect there. There was a mutual respect there. Yeah. Regardless of whether or not, Obama was going to do his, Boehner was always there. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, when Obama was going out of office, did you ever see that video that they did together? There was a mutual respect there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As he was leaving. Now, as I was saying, recreational marijuana. You're down, right? I mean, I don't really say that as like a question. I say it as like, I guess. Well, in a sense, I guess I am. Not personally. If you're down, I guess the question is, does that get us out of this mess?
Yes and no, and it's crazy as it may seem. Marijuana was one of the first cash crops in the United States when it first began.
George Washington.
Yes, and I think we're going about it the wrong way per se. With
in what sense?
With hemp, marijuana, whatever, this and that. The government was going to make money regardless, whether it was forcing it on the streets to bust drug dealers and keep people get money bringing in, to institutions, through courts.
You mean prior to?
Yes.
How is that?
It's, when they changed the rules, like when Colorado first done it.
Right.
Okay, check this out. You can only have a half an ounce on you at the most.
Right.
2 joints, whatever.
And even those rules here changed.
Recreation. Any more than that, then you're going to get in trouble.
Right.
But if an officer still wanted to, arrest you and stuff like that, you can.
Still can.
Because it's still federally illegal. You know? State legal is state legal, but not federal.
It's a fine line.
But as far as with the mass amount of money that it brings in, it's huge. They said within the next 5 years, if they wanted to, they can pay for all the way up until first 2 years of college.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to go to college and
can go free. Yeah.
You can go for free.
Yeah. Not only that, but they're saying that the crime has dropped. They're saying that traffic accidents or something like that aren't as bad as they were.
Those metrics of numbers, I really haven't really looked at, touched
on.
Right. But if they say it is, it is. If not, it's not. But overdoses have gone up there.
On what? Marijuana overdoses.
Well, I wouldn't say marijuana, but other stuff. And stuff like that. And
see, because the factors that I looked at were that they were going down.
Job loss.
They say that people are working more.
But I think people are still. Businesses.
First of all, maybe I should start with this.
Businesses are still trying to figure out. Should we allow people come in and hide at work?
What's that? I don't know. I mean, because the thing about it is you know me.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. I don't even need to say it. You know what I'm saying? With that said,
Seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is badass weed.
but I don't know. I mean, shit. I passed my drug test because I was able to know when to stop, when to not. You know what I'm saying? Worked my time, went in every day, worked hard, did what I had to do.
And some people, are tolerant. They build up their tolerance
Right.
and to do so and to function.
Right.
And the reason why I say, depending on certain jobs, then yeah, man, whatever. It's no different from what most of these women that go into work all looted up on damn crazy pills or whatever,
Right.
Xanax and shit like that,
Right.
And but certain jobs, no.
Mm.
Like my job.
Yeah.
If I came in high,
Yeah.
whatnot, dude,
Yeah.
I would try to chop my fingers off in the first.
Right. I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. But certain marijuana is, like indica and stuff like that.
Yeah, it depends on if
Different
it's a
high, different
sativa,
buzz.
if it's an indica.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the education's got to be there.
Yeah.
But I am a big fan.
I mean, if you were talking about the overdoses as far as like the edibles go, yeah, there was a rise in that. And I mean, a dramatic rise in that because they say the edibles, man, they are potent, and you don't know.
Well, see, and that's
it's not a consistent
and that's why
dosage.
That's why you see the emphasis right now is on the oil THC.
Yeah.
For people that do the vaping.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing for me is it's like personally, I'd rather just do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm doing.
And I would say it's more safer because eventually when they're trying to figure out what kind of regulations they can to do that. For the
I would agree with that. That right now they don't have it down yet.
Because man, I tell you what, some of that THC. And some of these marijuana strains and stuff like that will knock you.
Well,
on
no,
your
I mean the thing that I don't understand is that these people are like, it's going to an extreme. The people are like they're doing the dabbing and all. It's like, man, what just let it be, man. It is what it is. It's all good.
And and that's what's funny is somebody brought this up. Well, Luke, it's marijuana. This is that. I was like, marijuana that's 100 times stronger.
Yeah.
I go in its rawest form of that. It almost touches base with black tar.
Mm. Well, they're literally putting kerosene in it.
Yeah.
And extracting the THC.
Dude, it's crazy. It's
crazy.
It's no different from meth.
Yeah.
And again.
Well, slightly different, but
yeah.
I mean, but it's becoming
you're putting other chemicals in something that's natural. To get.
I agree. Yeah.
So technically, I believe that's a different classification of drug.
Right. Right. It is, but I mean, when it's a fine line because some of these companies are not doing that. I mean, a lot of these kids are doing that on their own, and you know what I mean. It's just. Yeah, I get that. I get that aspect of it.
Or that synthetic marijuana.
Oh, that stuff is not. Yeah, that stuff is not.
Dude.
No, that's that. Yeah.
And what's funny is.
And I think the synthetics happened because it was illegal.
This is an argument that I've had with many of friends. When they say, "Oh, Luke, marijuana is not a gateway drug."
Right.
I was like, I beg to differ.
I would agree
because. If you got a marijuana smoke in there, and all of a sudden, hey, dude, check this out. Let's smoke some of this. Oh, what's that? Oh, this is spice.
Right.
Oh, okay, that's the same thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
But that's going towards another drug, right?
Well, it is another drug because there's people dying from synthetic marijuanas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when people say, "Oh, well, no, it's not. It's the same." No. Okay, then this is where I throw my rebuttal again.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the same thing, then yes, marijuana has killed people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
because I think that the synthetic marijuanas became, obviously they became a product because marijuana is illegal. And they were trying to say, well, you can smoke this. This is legal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've read articles about some of these kids who have died off of these synthetic marijuanas.
And it's one of the main biggest stories that have ever came out on that spice was parents from their kid that died in, I think, Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. And that's one of the most biggest national stories that happened when that first stuff started.
I don't remember. It was one in particular that I remember reading where this kid, he tried it and he knew something was off. and I think it was like 2 weeks later, he was locked in it was like a depressive state. He knew there was something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up killing himself, and it was because of that synthetic marijuana. You know what I mean? But like in Colorado, where it's legal and they're doing everything to try and figure it out, it seems like what they're doing to grow it is to really try and cater to medicinal.
Yes.
And for what they're doing in the labs is more towards, okay, this is the strain for this, and this is the strain for
to combat, and that's another thing too, because my community, the warfighter community, there's a lot of people.
PTSD.
With the PTSD.
Yeah.
One of the biggest advocates right now that's going around, making his name bigger and bigger every day is by the name of Boone Cutler.
Okay.
Awesome guy.
I've heard the name. His
platform is phenomenal. And
now, who's this? He's a warfighter.
He's a warfighter himself. Was with the army and stuff like that. Countless Iraq, Afghanistan.
Right.
And his biggest thing on his platform was for us to take care of each other.
Right.
And that goes along with the Spartan Pledge. That's a whole different thing. We'll do another show on that.
Okay.
But one of the main things that he wanted to do was when he was at Walter Reed, getting healed up and stuff from being hurt in combat, he noticed that all these drugs that the medical was giving us, we always called it the combat cocktail.
Okay.
And whether it was for anxiety, pills for anxiety, pills to go to sleep, Adderall, this and that, and by the time you got 15 different pills that you're
dangerous,
taking,
bro.
and
it's
you're killing
dangerous.
yourself.
Yeah, slowly.
You're killing your kidneys.
Well, because your organs can't take. Yeah.
Yes. So he, after countless times of feeling suicidal and stuff like that, because that's what some of these pills did.
There's a switch that turns on.
And medically, you're just being suppressed. But the things that's still there, the problems are still there, the pain is still there, this and that, blah blah. And
it's almost like your brain is locked in.
It took a couple years to do some research and really self-medicate, and he doesn't take none of that medicine no more.
Right.
He either smokes dope to go to sleep at night, and
I want to say I read.
He's a big fan of hemp oil,
right?
And for the medicinal part of the benefits
of taking it right.
And it's crazy. And because I'm thinking about getting on it myself,
right?
Just for pain management,
right?
For my knees,
right?
But the medicinal part of that, I'm a fan of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If people like that have anxiety and stuff like that, if you could take one pill a day that wasn't what they prescribed from a doctor, for whatever. If you can get the same benefit from some natural THC in a capsule, and you take one a day, boom, hey.
Because I can tell you right now, I mean, like we spoke on the last show, it's no secret, you're my best friend, and I openly told you that, or to our listeners, that I have suffered from anxiety, generalized anxiety since I was 13. When I smoked, and you remember me not drinking ever, what I mean? I never drank, smoked cigarettes, quit smoking cigarettes. I was a straight edge, more or less. When I turned 24 was the first time I took a puff. And when I took that puff, a light switch went off. You know what I mean? It was like, hold on. And before I knew it, the anxiety was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was way before they were talking about medicinal marijuana and
an extreme platform.
Right, exactly. It was nowhere near being at the forefront of what it is now. So from personal experience, I can attest to that. I can relate to the fact that it does work medicinally. So I think it's like you said, it's the person, it's their you have to have your limit. You know what I mean? Because I mean you look at the opioid crisis right now, and it's getting so bad that they're like these teenage kids or whoever's doing whatever they're doing to marijuana to turn it into whatever it is, or synthetics. You know what I mean? what they're doing with opioids now, you know, and what happened to Prince and stuff like that. It's gotten so bad that I heard a story that there was a case somewhere where there was somebody manufacturing opioids, and one of the people who were going to clean it up, it was so strong that it was in the air.
Yeah.
And he OD'd. I mean, he didn't die.
Yeah.
He ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, and that I think that case was that fentanyl.
Yes.
Yes.
And there was something where they're calling they were making something where it's like a blacks, they call it black something, and it's like a 50-50 chance. Basically, you're playing Russian roulette when you take it.
Yeah, and that's that fentanyl. And there was a case up in Chicago probably about 2 months ago. I think it was Chicago. 2 months ago, that this toddler was in the house and he came in contact with that fentanyl.
Because all you had to do was touch it.
And that baby touched it and instantly died. That baby died.
That's crazy, bro.
You know?
Because if you think about it, extrapolate that. Now we're living in a world where if your neighbor is doing this shit and you walk outside,
yeah,
it's gonna be in the air.
Yeah, but again, you know, I think our government's going in the wrong direction with the opioid problem itself in a whole.
How the hell do you solve that though?
You got all these countries right now smuggling that shit in because it's so easy.
Yeah.
There was a doctor in Muscatine that just got busted a year ago for prescribing Percocet, Darvocet, and all those pills and shit, Vicodin, to women.
Right.
And the women were sleeping with him, and he marked them a prescription, or they would give him money.
Right.
For prescriptions.
Right.
And here he got busted like last year or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, should he have gotten busted? Yeah, I guess. You know, should he have gotten his license pulled? Yeah, I kind of guess.
Yeah.
I go, but these women that told on him or whatever, they're the ones that wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that were willing to go and sleep with the guy.
Right. To get their fix.
You know? So it's crazy, you know, but the president right now, you know, he's trying to bring up a thing on opiates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And by all means, you know, if in order to combat that medically wise, the medical field,
right,
he's going up against big pharma.
Right.
They ain't gonna want none.
No,
to do
of
with
course
that,
not.
Man.
Of course not.
But in order to change that, then let's go to the source of something to replace that. That would be hemp. That would be hemp oil.
Right.
You know, pain management, they got it out there.
Right.
You know, they got that hemp oil that's like 0 THC in it, but it has the medicinal benefits, you know, for pain management, stuff like that. The biggest thing with opiates out there is for pain management.
Right.
You know, to suppress it, you know, okay, we'll give you Vicodin.
Right.
Oh, we'll give you Darvocet.
And see, that's where I think that's where I think the problem lies.
Yeah, and it is. And again,
because there's people who really have issues.
And you know what? But
go to the doctor, get these medicines prescribed to them.
Yeah.
And then they're hooked.
See, and that's I don't know, man. I hate to talk about it and bring it up because I'm not a big fan of when, you know, kids say that, you know, parents take their kids to the doctor and whatnot. Oh yeah, your kid's got ADHD.
See, and that's my problem too, because no one now, you know, is showing signs of anxiety, because I mean, obviously the schematic is there, the blueprint is there for him to have that.
And you know what? And there's ways of changing that.
Yeah.
You know,
and I don't.
There's ways. You know, back in the day, you know, growing up, especially if you had older brothers or older cousins and this and that, you know, we didn't have so much pansy kids, I should say.
Yeah.
Like today.
Right.
Because you're either older brother or your older cousin's like, hey, quit being a pussy.
Yeah.
Man up.
Right.
And holy shit. You did.
That's reality.
And, you know, and it was a different way of teaching.
It's a psychological thing.
But it was an effective approach.
Right.
You know, damn, if I want to hang out with you guys, man, I got to man the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. I can't be. Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And see, that's why I don't want Noah. I don't want to take Noah to a doctor, because that's exactly what he's going to do.
And you know, and like I said, and you know, with family members, you know, this and that, you know, well, this guy, no, he doesn't. Man, be stern with him. Tell him, get the fuck up, go rake the leaves, and go do what I fucking tell you to do.
Right.
You got a problem with that?
It's gonna distract him.
Don't come ask me for no money or nothing.
Exactly.
You know? Oh, you want to use the car? No.
Yeah. I agree with that.
You know, sometimes it's tough love, But damn, man, I mean, I'm helping you.
Right.
You know, I can do it myself. I don't care.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I get that. I completely get that.
And it again, you know, the social norm has flip flopped and changed so much, man. That's why you got kids right now rebelling in every single way and everything. You know, it's crazy, even in school.
Yeah.
That's why I feel sorry for teachers right now.
Right.
You know, no, teacher, you can't talk to me like that. I'm leaving school.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah.
I'm leaving class.
Right.
You hurt my feelings.
Right.
Man, fuck you, kid. Sit the fuck out. Sit your.
Mr. Solis is shoe.
Oh shit. Oh man, come on.
But I mean, back to the point that I was trying to make. Does it help Illinois get out of the funk?
Yes and no. The money. Oh, it can.
Come on, Luke, take your phone off.
Oh yeah. The money, it can be there.
Right.
But again, once the money gets there, it's thrown in a big pot.
Yeah.
Hands start to go in.
I heard it before you.
You know.
I heard it before you said it.
It's like the lottery.
Yeah.
The lottery initially was for two things: education and roads.
Yeah.
Why does Illinois still have shitty roads? And why is education? I wouldn't even say secondhand anymore.
Right.
It's not. It's like zero.
Yeah.
It's last of the last.
Right.
Schools ain't getting money like they were supposed to. You know, promised. And
they've closed schools.
You know, schools have been closed. Colleges, you know, have had to seek other ways of utilizing their
funding.
Money.
Yeah.
You know, whereas they're asking alumnus now at some of these colleges, hey, instead of giving this money for
right.
scholarship, can you maybe throw half of this for scholarship and then half into the school?
Right.
You know, to keep us running.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have no school, we don't need. You know, there's not gonna be no need for your scholarship.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna have no school to give. You know.
Right. Right.
And it's crazy that it is what it is. You know, and the misappropriation funds. You know, is going to be there, and it is. I mean, you know, you can say 1,000 times, no, this money's going to go straight for this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, by the year end, hey, the deficit we're still in the red.
Yeah.
So the state congressmen and senators and said that, yeah, we can pull out $2.5 million from this fund. Oh, there it is. It's starting already. Hey, I got one hand, guys.
One hand in the cookie jar. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
So do you think legalizing and having a Kennedy in office would benefit?
No.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle.
To be honest, it doesn't matter who's in office.
All right.
Again, the money's going to be there. It's going to be taxed the shit out of.
Right.
They've already seen the corruption already on the level of who gets to manufacture the cannabis in the state of Illinois.
Right.
It's one company.
Right.
That one company, his interest is his uncle or something is a senator or something like that, or a congressman.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, well, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Who voted on that? We didn't vote on it.
Right.
You know.
In this day and age, have we forgotten, as citizens of the United States, that we were the ones that were the ones that run the country?
Yes, and this is where it gets into an argument in itself, along with the Second Amendment.
Right.
You know, the right to bear arms.
Right. Because the idea is the amendment was put there for us to be able to protect ourselves from the government rising up. Right.
And when government got too big, that's what's happening right now.
Right.
You know, heaven forbid, this will be the start of a civil war in itself if they were to change the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And ban everything for exception of a slingshot.
Right.
You know, if that was to happen, or even remotely go across the desk of Congress, whatnot,
right,
you would see every veteran and every constitutionist and every body.
They're all going to rise up and say no.
Wanting to support the Second Amendment to really march into Washington, D.C. fully armed.
Yep.
And go to Washington and say, hey, think about this.
Yep.
And it's going to take about 2.2 seconds. And they're going to be like, oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Really, they're gonna march into Washington D.C. They're gonna call it National Guard. You can call them Marines and this and that, blah blah. Half of those people are gonna be like, these are my brothers.
Yeah.
These are my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You know, and it wouldn't take that long for them. Like, hey, dudes, for real. We've already lived our life. You guys are young 18-year-old kids right now. You know, trying to make a decision of either standing up for what really should be. You know,
right.
Because they too might believe in the Second Amendment themselves, the right to bear arms.
Right,
like that.
right.
When you take away that power,
it becomes a fine line.
It'll be a civil war.
Yeah.
And it would be a day, you know, for somebody to just say, shoot it down and just shoot. I mean,
I think we're close.
It's there. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certain things, weapon wise and stuff like that, that should not be available.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. But then again, the difference between
with the incident that happened in Nevada, where the guy changed the makeup of the gun to become an automatic.
And that, again, shave this part down, shave that part down,
right? And
you can do whatever. Or they have these products, you know, that buffering, whatchamacallit, that allows that to happen. All cool stuff, cool products, whatever. Like I said many times, I can do just as much damage with a pistol. I can do just as much damage without even using a gun at that situation.
Right.
You know, Luke, you know, I was like, no. I was like, I'm crazy enough where I've been through some, and learn how to make bombs out of, you know.
You've shown me.
You wouldn't even know. I was like, and you do something like that. I was like, if you look at what was at that concert, big old, you know, canvas, you know, tarp, whatever that was over there, that was all held down by like barrels of water. I could easily just have filled one of those up with diesel.
Yeah, and shoot it.
And either shoot it or, again, make a bomb, you know, put an alarm and stuff like that, and trigger that, you know, the fume.
It could have been much worse.
And bam, you know, heaven forbid that somebody would have done that. Then you would have had a bunch of people on fire.
Right.
Let alone, you know, this and that. I was like, it's going to, somebody that wants to enforce pain and suffering and death and maim, they can do it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh blew up a building.
Yeah.
Killed 30 kids?
Daycare center.
And like 300 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Blew a whole face out of the building with manure, diesel fuel, and something else.
He used a U-Haul truck.
Yeah. You know, and it's crazy. You know, people are going to do it, and it doesn't matter whether it's with a gun or not.
You can't predict crazy, man.
No, you can't. You know, and it is what it is. You know, people get all fired up, you know, no pun intended, but they get all fired up and, oh, we got to get rid of guns, this and that. Well, come on, man. You know, it's not that. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Right. Right.
And if people want to kill people, they can do in any approach that they want. And this is that.
Without a gun.
Boston marathon bombing.
Right.
That was with
pressure
cookers that you can buy at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, you go to Walmart now and buy a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly, when it gets, people don't know this, but it's cool. You can buy a pressure cooker.
It reaches a certain temperature, right?
Well, yeah, but you can buy a pressure cooker, right?
Yeah.
At Walmart.
Right.
As soon as you go ring it up and this and that, cameras take pictures of you.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
As soon as that,
because that's how they were able to find out what was going on.
As soon as those codes hit that thing, that camera will take a picture of you, and this is that, and records the time.
Yeah.
You know, and by the time you know, it's hilarious, man. And this Big Brother out there.
That's what I was just gonna say. That's why you know, Big Brother's watching.
Where they take a picture of you, you leave Walmart, and they're recording you.
Right.
You get out past the door, and the cameras above that are looking in the parking lot are fixed on you.
Yeah.
And make sure to see what car you get into. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
But ever since then, you know, it's really been like that.
That's why I don't understand sometimes how sometimes there's like serial killers on the loose and we can't find them. You know what I mean?
There's a serial killer right now
in Florida. Yeah. And then I saw on Facebook some dude beat up some girl really bad. You know what I'm saying? They can't find them.
Yeah. People are gonna do whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just that it's happened before.
Yeah.
Many a times.
Right.
But the ones that got the big news at that time, you know, which back in the day is 60s, 70s, you know, it was only Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 8 news.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
that was it.
Yeah. I think we're going back there.
And you only heard of, the mass murdering killers at that time.
Yeah.
Son of Sam.
Son of Sam. Yeah.
All those guys. Oh shit, man, we maybe got something going on here. This is the third killing, the fourth killing, the fifth killing. All similar. Damn, we got to solve. So then it was publicized in the big news.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's so many news outlets out there that it gets to mainstream like that now.
Right.
And some of these people do that for that simple reason.
And it's mind-boggling how there could be somebody out there still.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy. JFK, the files were just released.
Dead.
So, I guess they're saying J. Edgar Hoover was saying that Dallas PD dropped the ball on that.
I'm being watched right now by the government.
CIA got you. You telling your Amazon is turning off?
Telling you, I turned my tracker off on my phone 20 minutes ago, just in case.
What I don't understand is if he ordered for them to protect Lee Harvey Oswald, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened?
Well, let's put it this way. One of the papers that I read actually was, they're saying that Johnson, Vice President.
Oh, I've always thought that.
President Johnson.
Yeah.
Was involved.
Yeah.
In the assassination.
And Ruby in so many words said that.
And again, from what I've read, and it was only like in the matter of 2 paragraphs, and what it stated was this, that Lee Harvey Oswald first initially went to Russia.
Yeah.
Tried to defect to Russia.
Right.
This and that. The KGB was like, yeah, this dude's not, he's crazy. And basically kicked him out of the country.
Right.
So, in with that.
His wife was Russian, wasn't she?
I can't remember. I can't remember. But with that being said, then all of a sudden the Russians, KGB, was already looking at Johnson.
Right. Really?
And keeping tabs on him.
This is starting to sound familiar.
And all of a sudden, when it came down to it, the Russian KGB was like, yeah, man. He's involved.
I mean,
something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And this was going on a year prior or so.
Really.
To the assassination of Kennedy.
Because it was no secret that Johnson didn't like Kennedy.
And everybody's got their conspiracy theories and this and that, but now it's on black and white. So now it's like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But you're talking over 50 years now?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
When did he 62, something like that?
Right. Yeah, it was 60. Yeah, I think you might be right.
62, 63, somewhere.
Yeah, because I know that they credit the Beatles for bringing the spirits of the United States back up. Yeah.
And it was crazy.
62 or 63.
Yeah, and it's crazy. As it may sound, all we're going to be able to do is really just look at the black and white, because most of those people are already dead.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nobody to hold accountable anymore.
Yeah. So now it's like hearsay, thearsay, for exception of it's being backed up by black and white.
Yeah.
So you can only do as much as what the paper will tell you.
Right.
And with this new, thousands of pages that are being released and stuff like that. Somewhat. Not everything. But,
yeah.
Because now, we got to make sure it's not a secret, top secret, clarification and stuff like that to be allowed to.
Because what we know now is that Dallas PD received a phone call the day before, right? Yeah. And the day of, saying, "Watch Lee Harvey Oswald because we're gonna kill him." You know what I'm saying? And he had reached out to Dallas to say, "Hey, watch this motherfucker. Don't let nothing happen to him because we still have to talk to him."
Yeah. See, and
the next thing we know, he's being escorted out in front of the media and all these people.
And how did one Jack Ruby get authorization to be right there?
Yeah. And it's almost like, it's almost like Hoover gave the warning and Johnson said, don't listen to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's hearsay, therersay.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And that's crazy.
But it's funny how that happened.
You know, and the fact that it happened.
Yeah.
It did. You know, and now, you know, it being released now is hilarious because, again,
it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant to the simple fact being this is just another way that President Trump is trying to make everybody think of this and not what's going on right now.
Yeah. True.
And in order to do stuff in the cover, hey man, we gotta make something that's making big news, so that they don't know what's going on right now in the government. Right. So let's release that.
Yeah.
It's a big shout game.
Yeah.
You know,
And with that said,
does it matter?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Okay.
No, not anymore because we already knew. I mean, we already had that. We already.
And JFK, the whole Kennedy family knows.
Yeah. I mean, because there's tape of Robert Kennedy saying, "Why did you have my brother killed?" You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what about Bergdahl?
Hang him. Stretch his neck.
What exactly happened there?
Well, from what I've gathered from credible news sites and everything else, he abandoned his post. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's plain and simple, and he did it on purpose for whatever he wanted to think that he was going to try to achieve. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's him. That's on him. That's what's in his mind. So
I don't really remember what the trade involved.
Yeah. Well, prior to that was, besides him leaving, but many of units, both Army, Marines, Navy SEALs,
everything stopped.
Like that,
right?
Went to go search for him.
Right.
Right. And many lives have either been killed or hurt
as a result.
Trying to find him.
Well, was that because would you say just because we were short-handed?
No. Well, initially they thought that he might have got kidnapped or something like that in the middle of the night or whatever because he was gone from his post.
Right.
Well, come to think, when they found out everything, and no, he left. He abandoned his post.
He left.
And he
AWOL.
He went AWOL.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, like I said, people went to go search for him. People have died. Soldiers died.
Right.
Navy SEAL died. And come to find out is he did it on purpose.
Right.
And being with Al Qaeda for 2 years or something like that.
Right.
And befriended them, helped them out,
Mm-hmm.
and it when they did that big trade for him and we got rid of.
So he committed treason then.
Yes, and according to the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, he's supposed to be dead.
Right.
That's punishment by death.
Punishment by death, right.
And
now, with that said, do you think any U.S. president would have done the same thing? I mean, he's an American. He needs to come back home. He needs to pay the price. He needs to go in front of a court. I mean, granted, military military men lost their lives.
And unfortunately, it has been done in the past many of times.
Right.
Many of times.
Right.
Of course, if you it's even referenced in that movie with Mel Gibson, The Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got 20 of your officers.
Mm-hmm.
Give me back my men.
That
was just the way of the rules of engagement in war was at that time.
Right.
That it was okay to do so. It was because it was like a chess game.
Yeah.
So in today's society, in today's military and stuff like that, it's pretty much the same thing. We've done it before, and other presidents have done it many of times.
Yeah.
It's just that it was never on the big
platform.
Big platform as it was when that happened.
Right.
So it is what it is. It's a big mess. Nobody agrees with it and whatnot because he's back. We gave 4 Al Qaeda people back or whatever for that trade.
Right.
From Guantanamo Bay. It is what it is, But now that everybody knows the truth,
stretch
his neck, man.
Yeah.
Stretch his neck.
Right. I understand that. I mean, I asked because I don't remember what the trade involved, and I saw it on the news. Obviously, it's new. It's been on the news in the last week, and everybody that I hear is saying the same thing. Every military man that I see is saying the same thing. So, from what you're explaining and from what I'm hearing, it's treason.
Yes.
So, yeah, like you said, that price needs to be paid. It's just funny how it's used, and we talked about CNN last week and stuff like that. But it's funny how it's used as, like you said, a pawn in a chess game.
Yep.
A political chess game. But I guess it is what it is, and we'll see what happens in the long run.
You got fans outside coming through the window.
I know, man. Right, running by the window.
CIA told you.
The wife of the soldier who died.
Oh, was that the one that?
Let me Google
that. That didn't get the phone call from the president.
Yeah, it might have been.
Or the president made that stupid comment. Well, actually, I shouldn't say stupid. Let me retract on that. From what if we don't know what the president said was, that's what he signed up. That's what he signed up for to do.
Yeah.
And I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Right.
Wrong time.
Right.
Wrong.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a given. That's a given. Yeah. If you're a military man, you know.
Sign on the dotted line for the specific reason of that.
And the same goes for police officers. The same goes for firefighters. Yes. Everybody.
And it's a true statement, but it was made at the wrong time.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's true. When the truth hurts, it's one of those statements.
Yeah.
It is,
wrong timing.
But it's just the wrong time.
Right.
Because I mean, granted, it's Trump.
What happened?
Dumbest shit ever. Her husband died.
I mean, I know her husband died, but what went wrong? Why was he left behind? I mean, I know you don't have all the answers.
Yeah, that I really didn't touch base on. He was. Oh man, I think one of 4 that died from a unit.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I barely touched on that one. They were on some mission. I don't know what it was for, but yeah, a couple of them.
Nigeria.
A couple of them died and stuff like that. So, right. There was the whole thing about should a president call or not.
Right.
If they don't, they don't. If I was to have passed away, I would have hated if the president called my mom this and that, because it kind of makes it kind of worse.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So.
Yeah. I understand that. I totally get that.
I mean, I don't think it should be their duty to do so. If they want to, that's fine.
Right.
But at the height of the war that was going on, there was 10 people dying a day.
Right.
Right. President really doesn't have time to sit down for 20 minutes and talk to one
entire family or one mother and
and say, hey, my deepest condolences. I mean,
right.
He's got other things that's way bigger on his plate to deal with and stuff like that.
But is he dealing with those things?
I mean, he's got things he's got to do, and his everyday things. And if you don't get a phone call, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get a phone call from Trump.
Right. Well said. Yeah, I get that. With what's going on with what we talked about last week in regards to North Korea, now Russia has jumped into the game and they're starting to test their missile.
Yeah. Well, see, and again, another way of hiding what's going on that's serious.
Yeah.
Let's bring something in to
distract
and cause clout, in the government. It's scary. I told you, man.
I know.
I was like, all those neighboring countries right there that are all trigger happy motherfuckers.
Yeah, and it's
scary.
It's starting. Yeah.
Whether it's China, Russia, North Korea,
right.
South Korea. I mean, even South Korea right now is not liking us.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
It is bad.
That's the country we're trying to protect and whatnot. And all of a sudden they're turning
Well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help that all these countries who used to stand by us, this motherfucker is saying shit to them. It's like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, it does because he's an idiot. You know, I mean, it's like.
So you're racist against orange too, right?
I fucking hate the orange people, man. Ain't no fucking lie, man. Goddamn carrot. I mean, it's like, you know, Tuesdays, kick a ginger day. Motherfucking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday should be kicking Orange Man Day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm down for that, dude.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. I'm not scared. Be orange in my way today, motherfuckers. I'll hit you.
It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
It's scary. It is. You know, that's I got to dig more into that.
For sure.
This platform, you know, and maybe touch on that next week or something like that, more in depth.
Right.
Because right now, I really don't know. I haven't been really on the news lately.
So our friend Aaron reached out. We'll just say Aaron C. Right? We got to give him a shout out. So I will. He's listening to the show. He's sharing the show. He's supporting us. He brought up an interesting point. I mean, it wasn't an interesting point. It was an argument on his behalf about our conversation regarding the moon landing.
Yes.
We went up in the 60s, supposedly, right?
Supposedly.
Right. Why haven't we been past, or other countries, for that matter, been past the height of the International Space Station? We're in the year 2017 now, approaching 2018. We are almost, 50, 60, almost 70 years removed from, right?
Yeah.
Why haven't we been past the International Space Station? Is it because we've never been past it?
Because we can't.
It doesn't make any sense.
Can't.
It can't.
I mean, right now, still one of the biggest lab rats right now that we have here is the astronaut that's been up there for over a year.
Right. The one that was in
Senator Kelly's.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah.
And they still test him every day.
Yeah.
Or if not once a week or whatnot.
Right.
You know, he's got a twin brother.
Okay.
And they compare them two together because, very fortunately, scientifically, him and his brother were identical.
Right.
Height, weight, baldness, blue eyes.
Okay.
You know, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably the same size penis. Who knows? I'm just saying that they were so similar that they noticed that when he came back, he was like an inch shorter.
Right.
You know, bone density
Right.
was less. You know, and this and that, and they still track him. You know, on the daily
to try and find out more.
And our bodies ain't meant for that.
Well, I mean, it's
you know,
you after the recording of last week's show, you talked about pressure going into the ocean, right?
Yes.
The same thing happening when you go up into space, right? Now, in regards to Kelly, he's the only person who's been that close to the belts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So naturally, it would only make sense for them to keep an eye on him, to study him, so that they can get to know more about what's going on with him, right?
Yeah.
Now, Aaron's rebuttal was he had listened to a podcast, because I said, okay, Aaron, good point, whatever. Now prove it. You know what I mean? So he said he had listened to some podcast, and an astronaut's son had said that there's no sound in space or something to that effect. So therefore, you would not be able to hear the engines, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
most likely, yeah.
So that's his defense.
Because
it's a good defense. He said it's a vacuum. Yeah, that's what he said. Okay. So with that said, God, I forgot what my point was going to be. We haven't gone up past that point, right? Oh, okay. So if you go to Texas, per se, right? You're going from Illinois.
Yes.
You're going to prepare for that, right? That trip, right? What prepared us to go to the moon? How did we know what percentage of gravity there was going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
How did we know there was no atmosphere to have to go into? But, I haven't looked far back enough to
See,
say.
now check
Hey.
this out again. This is right because it doesn't make sense. All right. Now this is something that I've kept to myself for many of years.
Right.
Space is a vacuum.
Right. And we should know that already by default because we know what happens when. We've been taught what could hypothetically happen to you if you were to be sucked into a black hole.
Well, if you were to go in space right now,
right,
and say you just let a body out into space and just throw them out there outside,
right,
would he self implode? This and that. This and that.
Right.
Obviously he'd freeze.
Yeah.
Before anything because
Right.
it's so cold in space.
Would he be able to stop himself from moving?
But would he? What I'm saying is, would he get crushed from the pressure?
Eventually, he would have to.
Now, how in the hell would a spacesuit prevent that from happening?
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
If I wore jeans and a t-shirt and I got thrown into space, and like a vacuum should work, everything in my body, oxygen-wise, should be sucked out and be crushed.
Right.
How does a suit prevent that from happening if it's no different from a pair of jeans or this and that?
It doesn't.
Because if it's airtight.
Right.
But if it was airtight, you would have to think that there's got to be oxygen blown into your suit like a balloon.
Right.
But again, how would they know that?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong. There is chambers out here on Earth, that they can have zero gravity and.
Yeah, but a chamber can't duplicate what's going on in space.
No, because that's an infinity number.
Exactly.
Of what's the elements out there.
Right.
You can suck all the oxygen out of a room and be weightlessness. Yes.
Right.
But what about the minus 200 degrees Celsius that's in space?
Yeah.
That the factors are just it's mind-boggling and stuff like that. I don't buy it.
Right. The science just doesn't add up. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we're in the year 2017 now.
We've never been back to the moon.
We've never been higher than the space station. It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
That we did it in the 60s. Okay, now
now China is saying that they found a tunnel on the moon. That's like 30 miles deep or whatever into the surface of the moon or whatnot, and it could be a future, place for a colonization, of the moon and stuff like that.
That's just insane.
When's China been to the moon?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They got the money.
Right.
Pretty much the only person that's willing to do any kind of thing with the space program is Virgin plane.
Richard
Branson.
Yes.
He's got that SpaceX. But it only goes up so high in space.
Yeah.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
You got that guy that got sponsored by Red Bull.
Right.
That flew that balloon up there into the stratosphere.
Right. He made the highest.
Jumped.
Yeah.
But even him saying, dude, my body, I was cold. I felt, this and that, and it's crazy.
It is.
And he
crazy.
only made it to the stratosphere.
It is crazy. Now, we're meant to believe that we went, the eagle landed and all that, and we're meant to believe that happened, right? Yet, in the 80s, right, with all the technology we had from then, we sent up a space shuttle called Challenger.
1985. Sally McAuliffe, right?
Sandra McCullough? Yeah, the teacher?
The teacher.
What happened?
NASA went from needing the 7 astronauts. It's hard to say.
Right.
It's sad to say.
Right.
Now it's a sad thing. Even when I went to go visit NASA here about 5 years ago down in Kennedy Johnson Space Center down in Houston, Texas,
right,
and seeing their dedication wall of all
the astronauts
of all the astronauts that
fallen
died.
Yeah.
And seeing the Challenger crew and stuff like that, and I was like, man, I skipped school that day to watch it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm screaming up and down.
You're sitting there watching it,
saying, "Holy
seeing
shit,
it,
Mom, it blew up."
Yeah.
My mom stopped making tortillas and came and see me.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you were alive and you were,
but yeah,
you were old enough, you remember that.
You have what one of 5 space shuttles. I think it was. Is it the Challenger, Atlantis,
Columbia, Voyager.
So 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
and Columbia went to the space station. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Got hit by a piece of foam. We weren't even able to repair that.
No.
You know what I mean? In space and do what we did to have them come home safely.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be made to believe that 2 weeks prior, this Eagle we weren't even able to fly it, and we took it to the moon.
Yeah. Like I said, I challenge anybody to have the opportunity to go to a planetarium, go on the scope, and try to find where the landing zone is.
This is a military man talking, goddammit.
Damn it. But on a lighter note, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh, wow. Man. Michael Jackson as an entertainer, Prince as a musician. By far, hands down. When you go to Eric Clapton and you ask him, what does it feel like to be the greatest guitar player of all time? And he sits there and turns around and looks at you and says, you'd have to ask Prince.
Exactly.
There it is.
Lennon or McCartney?
You dick. I refuse to answer on the grounds that may incriminate me.
I would expect a better answer. I thought I knew that one.
It's so hard because the cynic in me, naturally John, but the musician in me, God, Luke, man, Paul, I don't know. It's hard. I can't do it.
Is Paul the real Paul, or is he the Paul that was
Paul's
replaced in
the real
1961?
Paul's the real Paul.
You sure about that?
Yeah, Paul's the real Paul. Yeah.
Ringo says different.
Ringo's is different.
Ringo says that Paul McCartney was dead and got replaced.
Oh man. He also said he wanted to be under the sea in an octopus's garden. So
I think he's one of the most famous Beatles of all time.
Listen, man.
But one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Matchbox or Mattel for cars?
Oh, you said for cars. Oh. Which one makes Hot Wheels?
Mattel.
So
you're down with Hot Wheels, not Matchbox.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right.
We had Aaron C. Who reached out to us. We had who else? Man, I don't want to forget Fredo. We had a handful of people reaching out to us. We want you to keep doing that. Go to our Facebook page, like it. Tell us we're idiots. Include some stories. We want to talk about you. We're going to talk about you regardless anyway. So
exactly.
But this is the Fat Man.
And the Monkey Man.
And we're wishing you chunky bananas. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Later.